Hello everyone, so Dota Dragon's Blood Book 3 is finally here on Netflix. I know we didn't have to wait too long, only about 6 months between books 2 to 3, so I felt that was actually very awesome. It came out a lot sooner than I thought it was going to. But yes, it is 8 episodes long, each episode around 25 to 28-minute mark. Most of them kind of fall or closer to the 25-minute mark, but this takes place immediately after the events of book 2, where I left off. You'll find all of these, of course, on Netflix. But yes, without further ado, let me get into my review for book 3 of Dota Dragon's Blood. So after watching the first season, the second season, and telling myself both times that I was going to play the Dota games, I still haven't, but I did something a little. I went into the lore of watching YouTube videos, things like that, of the Dota universe, and learning a lot more about how, of course, the games actually went and all those extended lore that have been outside of the game, things like that. So I'm a little more versed when it comes to, again, just the world of Dota, but I still haven't played the games yet. I promise one day I will, because I've been absolutely loving this show. But yes, again, I was very happy that we were able to get to book 3 a lot earlier than I think a lot of us expected we were going to. I was expecting maybe early next year, 2023, we're going to get it. But I'm glad after where season 2 ended, or book 2 ended, we got it as soon as we did. Because yes, this takes place immediately after the events of the second book. And I'm going to keep this review completely spoiler free. But I will say that I found book 1 and book 2 were just a lot better in just a lot of ways that I was way more entertained. I thought the show was just a lot better in the first 2 books. But I still really enjoyed what book 3 did. I find that this time around there was a lot more character study, character development, and of course too, just spending time either with pairs of people or with singular people. And a lot of people who I didn't think would get a lot more screen time actually do in this, and I found in ways that were actually like the decent build up for the characters. We still get to see like a decent amount of Davion and Mirana and Sagan and, well, a bunch of other people. Tony Todd's Slyrack still makes me so happy that we get to hear his voice again, because he's absolutely awesome. But yeah, this one was definitely a lot more character focused, where the previous 2 seasons I found were a lot more just kind of action-based world building, things like that. Where, I mean, there's still a lot of lore that they go into in this, and again, I know a decent amount now ish but they really get into, again, just the history of this world, what the future events mean, alternate realities, things like that, where they really dive into it. And I found a lot of the time that I was kind of just a little taken back from it, especially by the end of this, where I just found that this season, the stakes didn't really feel too high, and I wasn't enthralled or excited as I was watching this season. Again, I love the characters that they put out, and even though, I mean, not everyone got a build-up that I thought was necessary or deserved, because a lot of the times I felt it came off as a really generic way to kind of do a multiversal storyline. I still found that the characters thrived within the world, and of course the storyline that they were doing. We get to see, again, just alternate versions of the characters and alternate worlds that I found too, just from a lore standpoint, was actually really cool, but just nothing that I haven't seen multiple times before from other properties, other shows, even other video games, where like I said too, it just, the stakes didn't feel so high, and I was nervous that the ending was going to feel like a bit of a cop-out in ways. It didn't feel like that. So it was kind of nice that they didn't use the multiverse to just kind of bring back absolutely everyone. I know a lot of people would have loved to see like a rebuilt world with like so many of the other characters alive, and you question choices in the end as to why like these characters weren't brought back, or she was trying to create the ideal world, where, again, too, maybe they didn't get into it enough about why these characters would have been making the decisions that they did. But honestly, again, I did find that I still had a lot of fun with book 3. It's just maybe a little more time needed to be spent with in the world and with the characters, and some, like, more action sequences, actually putting them at the forefront of the action would have been a little bit better. I found a lot of the action sequences were like these big battle scenes where, again, it was absolutely epic to watch, but at the same time, the characters aren't at the forefront of that action in this season where they were in the previous one. So that, again, that kind of takes the element of, again, I was saying the stakes didn't feel too high, kind of brings that down again. Not that I don't care about just the regular civilians and war heroes that are in the world. And just again, when the characters on the forefront of it, it's a little like again just harder to connect with the stakes that the show's trying to make. Again, so you just question some of the decisions that are made by the characters, which relates to some of the pacing issues that I found did have in well the entirety of this season. I found that books 1 and 2 just moved at such a great pace. Nothing I found needed to be deleted or added to the seasons. Where I did find this in book 3 here, which I'm not gonna say like disappointed me, but again, it just felt like a lot more of a slow-paced, character-driven story, which I did really like because again, I love these characters, but it just found like again, not a lot of it went places that were interesting enough to really just hold my attention or focus it. Nor too did I find that it was just flushed out well. Again, some of the pacing issues kind of added on to that. But really still, I really love Dota. I think it's one of the best animated series you'll find on Netflix or any streaming platform right now. And it looks so cool. And still, I am very excited to see where season 4 will go, which I'm pretty certain they're going to be doing with the ending that they had. If they don't, I feel like it'd be a big wasted opportunity not to do so. But yeah, no, I did really enjoy still watching this series, seeing the more character focused aspect of the season. I just found again with the pacing issues, got predictable. It got never boring, but just times a little bland, and I was waiting for it to pick up, and it just finally after a long time of waiting, it finally got to that point, but it just felt like a bit too long to get there. So really, with everything taken together, I'm gonna have to give Dota Dragon's Blood Book 3 a 7.5 out of 10. It is my least favorite season of the series, but again, just with some of the aspects of the lore and just opening up the world in the way it did, and just having the characters still thrive in the world, even though it was a much slower season, it was very well done, and I still have to highly recommend it to anyone who's a fan of the video games, of fantasy, just the fantasy genre. If you like the first 2 books, you'll still like this, of course, too. It just is a step back in terms of the pacing, the action, some of the storytelling. It's a lot more character focused, but these characters are fantastic. So if you've seen book 3 of Dota Dragon's Blood on Netflix, please let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. And of course, if you like this review, definitely give it a thumbs up, and you can check out everything I do on this channel. I'll link some playlists up top here for convenience sake. If you want to check out everything I do Twitch live stream wise, link to that in the description of this video, and of course my channel bio. And in both those places, you'll find a link to the Medium Mountain, which is my Discord where we talk about movies, video games, comic books, TV, pretty much everything that's awesome in this world. So you can definitely join that amazing community. I'll make it even more amazing than it is already. And yeah, just awesome, guys.
Sky blue eyes, I see a world behind them. No more time sinking into the silence.